Hello everyone and welcome back to Global TC. We are here at the Tokyo Expressway for our 14th event of the season. Including today's races, there are just 9 races left in the season and the championship is as close as it has been all season. Anyone can take this title still, despite there being so few rounds left to go. After today, there will be only 6 races left, 2 events left after today. You're getting right to the sharp end of the season now, so do not go anywhere. We've got some racing under the lights here tonight as we start off in the evening before transitioning in to the night time here in Tokyo. So I hope you're all looking forward to it. Let's get started by looking at the starting grid for race 1. Lining up at the very back of the field, we have Preston Brennan in the Mercedes. He will start race 1 on the soft compound tyres. Ahead of him, it is championship leader Liam Jones in the Mitsubishi. He is starting on hard tyres. Ahead of him is the Subaru of Lewis Francis, also on hards. Then we have Ben Driscoll in the BMW next up on soft compound tyres. Ahead of him, another one of our title contenders so far this season that's been right at the top is Albert Asante on the hard compound tyres. Then it is Jordan Fingal in the BMW on the medium tyres. He is another American just ahead of him, Matt Pulio on the hard tyres. Then up ahead of him we see Tyler Davison on the soft compound tyres in his Toyota. Ahead of him it is the Alfa Romeo of Dylan Varstenberg, and he will be starting race 1 on the medium tyres. Ahead of them it is Adrian Tisci on the hards for Toyota. Daniel Solon is on the soft compound tyres for Mitsubishi. Ahead of him it is Adam Liu, one of the favourites coming into today with a Renault, which is quite good on the straights and this track having quite a long one. And it's Scott Sandover just ahead of him, both of those two on the hards. Then we have Kieran Kevern on the soft compound tyres. Carlo Durante ahead of him, he is on the medium compound tyres. Ahead of him, we see Vishay Shah still searching for his first win of the season. He's the top car in this race starting on soft, so this could be his best chance yet. But then we see it is Andre Jamil on mediums, the same as the case for the front row starters of Jonathan Mills, and on pole position for the first time since the season opener, Adam Richardson. The cars are ready, the drivers are ready, and we are racing in Tokyo, and it's a good launch off the line there for Adam Richardson, who's going to lead them towards turn 1, but we've got a big run here before we get to the first braking zone of the lap here. Half this track is a straight, so get ready for a lot of this pack racing. It's going to start like this, and it may well stay like this for the entire race here. It's Richardson though that does lead ahead of Mills and Andre Jamil as Vishay Shah now looks to try and get up into 3rd position, and he does as they are side by side into the first braking zone of the lap. Shah trying to make some moves under braking here, but that's Mills for the lead. Jonathan Mills down the inside of the first corner, and he's taken the lead of the race, but Andre Jamil, he broke a little bit earlier there. He's set them up for the exit, and he takes the lead in corner exit there. Brilliant start for the Brazilian driver. Behind him, Mills, after briefly taking the lead there, drops back into 2nd place. Richardson, the real loser there off the start, as he's now side by side with Vishay Shah as they now head in to the S's. And this track is quite a unique one. Half of it is basically an S section, the other half is a straight. So lots of high-speed racing here. The drivers and cars on the limit of grip and of power as they make their way around this place. But it is Jamil up front at the moment, ahead of Mills and Shah. Shah trying to get some more moves done on lap 1 here. Starting in the 4th position, made up 1 position already. Richardson, of course, with the disappointing start off of that one there. So we now see Shah looking to try and take 2nd place as they head in here, and he's going to try and take the lead as well. He's going to use those tyres to his advantage. He's to the inside of Jamil, and he's to the lead. Vishay Shah looking for his first win of the season. He is up to 1st place already in this one, and behind him there, side by side for 2nd place, Mills and Jamil. Jamil slightly wide there. That's going to allow Mills to once again retake that 2nd position, which he seems to be stuck in on this opening lap here. Whether he's gaining or losing positions, he keeps getting back into that 2nd place. Now as we see Adam Richardson still in that 4th place, behind him Kieran Kevern, Daniel Solon, both starting this race on the soft compound tyres. They could be the contenders for this win against Vishay Shah if he can't get too far out front early on in this race. Whilst these guys are battling in the pack, we see Richardson having a look here. Solon actually having a look now at Kevern. Kevern's going to try and carry the momentum around the outside. That could give him a chance at Richardson as they head through this double left-hander. And that is Kevern carrying the momentum all the way around the outside, and he's up into 4th position there. And that Toyota, not the best car on the straights, but with that exit, it should be enough for him to stay ahead of the Volkswagen. Actually saying that, he's pulling alongside the Alfa Romeo already here of Andre Jamil, and he's cleared the Alfa Romeo as they head down the straight. You can see Vishay Shah with a bit of a gap ahead now, but look at this, Adam Richardson with a double slipstream. He's going to pull alongside the pair of them, and he is now getting back in this fight for 3rd position, and with the power of the VW, he is going to get back into that 3rd position there. And that car, the front-wheel drive cars, are often the quickest on the straights due to their increased power over their competitors because they struggle with traction on starts and corner exits. The power is increased for them to make up for it. And you can see here at a track like this, proving to be quite the advantage. As we saw earlier in the season at tracks like Le Mans, we saw a similar thing happen here as we see side-by-side racing Solon and Davison as they head into turn 1, 2 full drive cars from Japan. One of them though on softs, the other is on, both of them on soft tyres in that battle there, so that is an important fight for those two to get up the order. Kevin now up into that 2nd position. He's been able to fight back against Richardson and Mills. He's got them there with the soft tyres, being able to be much more confident through the first couple of bends. And we now see side by side here Davison continuing to make some moves here in the Toyota. The Toyota, one of the strongest cars in the corners. This should be a good part of the lap for it. But of course down the straight, perhaps slightly weaker. Going to make their lives slightly harder at times, but as we can see here, Davison making some moves through the field here. Kevin up into 2nd, also in a Toyota. Solon down in 6th at the moment. Mitsubishi, which has had some highs and lows this season, currently looking like it's a solid car. And around here, not looking too bad as he runs in 6th position, but will want to try and make some more positions as quickly as he can here. As we see that already Davison is pressuring the back of Richardson here. Front wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive. The Toyota of Davison putting a lot of pressure on the back of the Volkswagen ahead of him as they head through this S section now, and you can see them weaving left and left and right again as we see side-by-side racing here at Solon, making the move on Mills and just getting up into that 5th position. That'll give him a chance now to try and get back at Tyler Davis, and we passed him on the previous time around. As we see here, up for the lead of the race, it's Vishay Shah, but Kieran Kevin, the Toyota, we said it's good in the corners, he's caught him, he's going for the lead. Kieran Kevin down the inside, you see the car sliding through there, and as they went up the hill, Kieran Kevin goes up a position, as we see Solon and Davison doing a similar thing there, as they head through that part of the lap, and now on to the main straight they go. It's Kieran Kevin that leads this race ahead of Vishay Shah, but as they head on the straight, you can see the Toyota, it made up all that time in the corners to reel in that lead that Shah had grown out at the front, but now you can see Shah has got the power to go back into the lead as they head down the straight, and crucially it's the battle behind we've got to keep an eye on here. Adam Richardson, another car which is very good on the straights, like the Mercedes seemingly is as well in this one so far. He's getting a bit boxed in here though, stuck in between the 2 Japanese cars of the Mitsubishi of Solon and the Toyota of Davison. Speaking of Toyota, look at this, Kevin's going back for the lead, and again he's showing the dominance the Toyota has on the brakes there into the hairpin, and he retakes the lead of the race nice and easy. And behind them we see Davison gets past Solon a little bit wide there. You can do a little bit of damage on the back of that car already. They're already getting quite rough here in race 1 as we see this is Preston Brennan on the back of Adam Richardson, another driver on softs. Preston Brennan is, after starting at the very back of the pack, he's already up into 5th place here. The Mercedes proving to be quite a good car around this circuit, despite the fact that it qualified at the very back of the field. In race trim, it seemed a little bit better. Adam Liu in that Renault, and you can see here it is a rocket ship on the straights. That Renault, probably the best top speed we see in the series, goes to the Renault, and that's why it did well at tracks like Le Mans earlier on in the season. And we can see here it's thriving around this place, currently sitting on the hard compound tyres in race 1, but that is not holding them back here. As you see, the battle for the lead is back on here as Shah looking to the inside as they head into turn 1. Kevin trying to fight off around the outside as they have to be so careful here. It's such a tight first couple of corners. These cars not the best at handling, even when they are on the soft tyres, but it is Vishay Shah who retakes the lead of the race. It's Solon, Davison there, making their way through as Brennan now up into that 5th position as we see them. As we now see that's Adam Liu, Jonathan Mills and Adam Richardson all battling into the first corner here. We see that's 3 front-wheel drive cars all making their way through as now we see a pack of Alfa Romeos here, all 4 of them together on a racetrack, as that is Vastenberg making the move on Jamil, nearly getting the move done on Liu as well. Liu on those hard tyres whilst he has the top speed, as you can see there from his wide moment down at turn 1. clearly struggling a little bit more in the corners, so he's going to have to make do with what he's got here. As we now see once again the three front-wheel drive cars down the straight they go. They're battling over 6th, 7th and 8th positions here, and the Renault is on the back of the Honda. Mills having to keep an eye on his mirror here as they head into the first turn now. Richardson's going to go a little bit defensive here, as they could be free wide. They are free wide. Liu, from a huge way back, has taken the pair of them through turn 1, and he gets up into 6th position there and gets past both of his front-wheel drive rivals there. Richardson drops back a position. Mills drops back one as well. It's exciting stuff there from those three drivers, all with great top speed, but perhaps not so great in the corners, making those cars quite exciting to watch as they go through some of those twisty, tight sections of the lap. But up at the front, Vijay Shah with the Mercedes power. Can he hold on here? This is the run to the line. It's a long one though, so don't hold your breath just yet. As we see, Kieran Kevan is in the slipstream. Oh, Vijay Shah as they head down the straight now. Shah in the Mercedes, looks like he's just got the power here. He's going to hold on, it looks like, and it's going to be the first win of the season. Vijay Shah, career win number 1. He takes it in race 1 in Tokyo. The battle for the podium, it's Solon ahead of Davison, and we see behind them, that is Preston Brennan in that 5th position on those soft compound tyres coming across the line there, all on his own. And now we see this battle at Liu. We saw that incredible pass at the start of the lap, and now he's got Richardson in the slipstream. The VW, another car, very strong on the straights, and he's going to have a run here as they head towards the line. Mills hoping that just maybe the slipstream will give him a chance here, but it seems the two cars ahead of him have just got a little bit of an edge as they head towards the line. It's going to be side by side between the two Adams, Liu and Richardson. Who's going to get to the line first? It will be Liu, who takes that position ahead of his fellow Adam there after a thrilling race 1 here. So here we have the official results for race 1 at Tokyo. Vijay Shah takes his first win by just under 0.4 of a second there, ahead of Kieran Keva. And those two have done battle already this season. We saw back in Suzuka at the start of this Japanese triple header. And completing the podium, we see Daniel Solon ahead of Tyler Davis and Preston Brennan in 5th place. Adam Liu in 6th. We saw that battle all the way to the line ahead of Adam Richardson and Jonathan Mills. Andre Jamil in 9th place. Dylan Varstenberg rounding out the top 10 there ahead of Matt Pulio. Carlo Durante in 12th place, 13th to Albert Asante, 14th to Scott Sandover, 15th place to Adrian Tishy, in 16th place, only 16th. Ben Driscoll was on soft tyres in race 1 there, but the BMW just couldn't make it work there with the Success Palace on board. He was not making his way through the field like we saw the others, so unfortunate there for one of our title contenders. That's going to be a huge blow to his title hopes, only just beating his teammate who was on the on the medium compound tyres, so just goes to show how little progress Ben Driscoll made in that race 1 on soft compound tyres. Now it's time to look at the starting grid for race 2, and at the very back it's Lewis Franz in a Subaru, which has struggled as of late. Perhaps BOP needs to go back in their favour. Then we see the championship leader, Liam Jones. He'll be on mediums for this race. Ahead of them, Jordan Fingal. He's on the hards for this race. Then we see Ben Driscoll, used soft in race 1. He's on hards for this one. He is perhaps in a bit of trouble in this event now, with his car not seemingly liking this track at all. Maybe some worries as well for Fingal. As ahead of them, we see the Toyota, and then that is the Alfa Romeo of Scott Sandover. Then it's the Toyota of Albert Asante trying to get back in this title fight after leading for so long. Dropped back to 6th coming into this event. Ahead of them, Carlo Durante and then Matt Pulio. Ahead of Pulio on the grid, we see another Alfa Romeo of Dylan Varstenberg. The Alfa Romeo, in theory, should be a solid car here, but it hasn't had quite the performance it's had at some of its other tracks. As we've seen at times, the Alfa Romeo be the best car in the field, and doesn't quite seem to be the case here today. Jamil just ahead of his teammate there. Then it's Mills and Richardson, two drivers who put on a show for us in that first race, as did Adam Liu, as Liu on the mediums for this race. Preston Brennan, after doing race 1 on the soft, finishing in 5th position. He's on the mediums for this one. Then we see that is the Toyota of Tyler Davison. Then it is the Mitsubishi of Daniel Solon, with the front row for race 2 being Kieran Kevern lining up 2nd, and on pole position after taking his first win in Global TC. It's Vijay Shah in the Mercedes looking to try and get his 2nd win already. The cars are on the grid then, and we are ready to go racing, and we are racing once more here in Tokyo, and it's a good launch from Vijay Shah as he comes off the line quickly there in that four-wheel drive Mercedes. It's a good start for him ahead of Kieran Kevin Solon. We've seen that Mitsubishi be an absolute rocket off the starts. Looks like it's the case again here, as he's already up into that second position as they head towards the first turn. There's a four-wheel drive dominated first race, it has to be said, but the top 5 all being four-wheel drive cars here as they head into turn 1. Solon looking to already try and take the lead of this one. We've seen this one before, not quite able to do it though, as Shah is gonna hold off, it seems, just about Solon on his rear bumper. Kevin and the entire pack, nose to tail here, right up behind them, but it's Vishal Shah at the very front of the field ahead of Solon. Brennan up into that 3rd position, Kevin then with Richardson in that 5th position. Richardson is on softs, as is Mills, Jamil, Durante, Sandover, Varstenberg, Pulio, all going with the soft compound tyre in this race here. They're your names to keep an eye out as they come through the field. Currently Richardson the highest of those drivers. He started the highest of those drivers and he's remained that way off the start here, although Mills isn't too far behind him at this stage in that 7th position, as we see Richardson already up into 4th place here, and he is on the back of Preston Brennan. Brennan in the Mercedes, he is on the medium tyres for this race. As there we see that's Liu, he's gone with mediums in this race as well. He's saving his softs for race 3, confident that with his car's top speed he can hold on to this track position in race 2, perhaps even get in the top 10 still, which will put him in the reverse grid, which will be huge for his chances of winning race 3 to take his 3rd win of the season. As we see now side by side, this is Richardson and Brennan as they head through here now. You can see Richardson making progress, slow and steady. This will be important here. If he can break clear of Solon and Shah before Mills does, it would be a great boost at his chances of taking the win here in this one. We've seen in the past, although it didn't necessarily happen, well, it did sort of happen in race 1, although not quite how we expected it. Once one driver on softs gets to the front, if they can pull away, usually that's their win to lose. Now in race 1, we saw Kieran Kevin did reel in Shah, but in the end, Shah did still hold on to that one, so worth noting there that Richardson does have that pressure to try and get out front as quickly as he possibly can. Durante over on softs there, you see around the battle for 10th places. Now we see the battle for the lead is on. It's Adam Richardson side by side with Vishal Shah as they head down the main straight here, and Shah, as much as he may have dreamed of going back to back and winning those 2 races, it seems like the soft tyres are just too powerful here, and that is Adam Richardson to the lead of the race there for VW. Shah dropping into 2nd. Now we'll try and use the slipstream to fight back as they head towards turn 1. He may well have a chance here. If he can get back ahead of the VW, he might be able to hold on to that position for another lap or 2, but it's going to be tricky here. The top speed with the slipstream is going to be enough for Shah to get back alongside here. He's on the outside. That isn't the preferred line in theory. The VW will be able to brake so much deeper, and as we go into the braking zone here once more, and actually Shah's cleared him. This could be a crucial move for this race, but Richardson is going to send it back down the inside there. He goes all over the inside curb and he takes the lead of the race back, and that could be him in a real controlling position of this one now. Shah down into 2nd place, Brennan in 3rd at the moment. The 2 Mercedes cars doing well in this one so far, especially considering their qualifying, at least for Preston, being down at the very back of the field. Kevin there side by side with Pulio. Pulio on the soft tyres for this one. Pulio with a few tough races as of late has dropped to the very back of the championship in Global TC, despite being the first driver to get 2 wins this season and be right up at the front of the championship early on in the season. He's now dead last, so he's got some pressure on for this race if he wants to try and lose that reputation of being there in the championship, as we see Mills on the back of Liu as they head to the S's here. Now the Renault, we've seen it in race 1, it's a hard car to pass, and it looks like it could be the case here again, as we see the Honda putting the pressure on those soft compound tyres. He should have the grip through here if he can just get a bit of momentum through some of these curves, but at the moment it looks like he may have to look at his mirrors, because Pulio right up behind him there. See some more side-by-side racing further back, as that's Sandover on the back of Daniel Turner and Scott Sandover, the only driver now yet to get a win this season. It is a stat he won't be too happy about having, but you know what, he's not doing too badly considering that's the case. Here we see him making his way through the field on the softs, but not very quickly at the moment, as that is Mills now up in 3rd position. He's not only cleared Liu, but he's cleared Brennan as well now, as he's in the slipstream to try and take that 2nd position. But as we saw with Richardson, sometimes holding on to that position going to take some more work than just the straight or just making the move here. because that Mercedes can fight back into turn 1 here. As that's Vastenberg on the far outside, he's on the softs here. Another Alfa Romeo that's going to be pushing hard. We've got 3 wide racing. Puglio in the middle, he's going to get past there by the Alfa Romeo, which makes a lovely little overtake around the outside of the pair of them, and onto the straight he goes. You can see Mills just behind Shah at this stage, perhaps the better position to be in here with the slipstream down the straight. This could be his best chance of making the move down into turn 1 to give the Mercedes no chance of fighting back once they get there. So we see Sandover now battling with, that's Vastenberg and Puglio. All 3 drivers are on soft tyres here and they're 3 wide coming down the straight. You can see that's Mills going for 2nd position, and look at this pack racing we have here. Incredible stuff. It's side by side, it's 2 by 2, it's 3 by 3 there. As we see that's Puglio, Sandover and Vastenberg bouncing off of each other as they head down the main straight now. I don't know where to look. There's so many battles going on here throughout the field as we head into turn 1 once again here on lap 3. This is quite fascinating stuff here as the power of the Mercedes down into turn 1. He's just been able to hold on there as Mills has actually lost a couple of positions. He's lost out to both the Mercedes of Brennan and to Liu. He's going to get that position back on Liu as they go through turn 1, but Brennan's the man on the move there, on his way through that first couple of corners on the medium compound tyres. Shah is on the Haas and has 50 kilograms of success ballast on board with him. It's going to be hard for him to hold up his teammate, and he doesn't do just that. He lets his teammate through now, and Mills, after trying to pass them on the straight, that backfired. It seems he put himself in a really bad spot there. This time he gets it done in the corners, and with the S section ahead, the Honda on those soft tyres should just pull comfortably clear, and he'll now have to look ahead of him in this race at the leader, Adam Richardson. Can he do what is proving quite hard to do, it seems, this season, although we have seen it a few times where a driver lets another driver get out front early on and reels them back in. We saw, I believe it was Jones reeling in Durante last time out at Autopolis in race 3. Could Mills do something similar in race 2 here today? As Shah back up into that 3rd position, Puglio into 4th now as Brennan's lost a couple of positions. Sandover up into 5th place. He wants to try and get in that fight for the win as well here with an Alfa Romeo, which is not the best car, it seems, here, compared especially to some of the other competitors in this field. But it's not doing too badly here, and a podium at least should be on the cards for Sandover, as he now finds himself right up in behind Puglio as they head towards the final couple of corners. This is going to be an interesting battle to keep an eye on for the majority of this race. All of these drivers know that they've got a lot of points on the line for them and their season and their manufacturer across this season. We're getting to the point of the season now where every position means oh so much more, even though by definition it doesn't. It just does. It's hard to explain. You feel the difference more now than ever in the season, as Puglio is now up into that 3rd position, Sandover into 4th, Durante into 5th, all the top 5 now on soft compound tyres. Vishai Shah in that 6th position, the top driver, not on soft in this one. Preston Brennan on the mediums just behind him, Adam Liu on the mediums as well, as we now see the Alfa Romeos look like they could be about to do battle here, as Durante looking to try and get a run on his teammate. Durante 4 wins this season, Sandover 0. That is something that Sandover is desperate to change. This race looking like it might not be the one to do it though, but it has to be said, he's running out of chances now to break that statistic. That's why they head into turn 1 once again, and Sandover there, actually with a bit of help from his teammate, is going to get clear of Puglio into the first turn here as they head onto the brakes. Who will be the one on the move here, as it looks like there's a little bit of contact there, and it's way wide for Sandover. He's been moved out of the way by his teammate Durante, and just after I said they may have been working together there, proven wrong immediately. Durante, perhaps that's the winning instinct that has got him those 4 wins this season compared to Sandover 0. He's up into 3rd position, but Sandover, you can see, he will not be happy with that one. He wants that position back, and it has to be said, the win almost definitely out of their sights now, but that 3rd place definitely a possibility for all of these drivers here, as we see them making their way back into the S's once more. Brennan, we see side by side with Vastenberg trying to make some moves here on the soft tyres, but we saw in race 1 Ben Driscoll, well, we didn't see in race 1, that was sort of the problem. He didn't make any positions, it seems, in race 1 on his soft tyres, and we're now perhaps getting a better, clearer image of to how that happens. Even with soft tyres, you can see Vastenberg here just getting a bit sort of caught up in the pack. Not much he can do about it, really, and he's just in a tough spot, it seems, as we see The battle for the lead is closing in just a little bit here. Mills reeling into Richardson. As we can see here, they start the final lap. Mills has reeled in the gap here, as has the two Alfa Romeos of Durante and Sandever. This could end up being a four-way fight for the win here. Richardson got out front here, but he hasn't been able to pull away like we've seen others in the past here. Perhaps struggling a little bit on the tyres, perhaps managing his tyres so that he could win a last lap scrap here. But look at this Mills, he's going for the moon to turn one from way back. Richardson waves him through on the inside there, perhaps knowing his best chance to win this one is from second as they get the run to the line. As you know, that over half this straight takes place before the start-finish line. So on the final lap, which we are now on, you've got to remember the slipstream to the line could be critical for this one. As we see Vastenberg getting up ahead of Brennan there, Liu battling away here in the battle for 10th position. This is a crucial battle to keep an eye on as well here. Solon currently sitting in that reverse grid pole position for race 3. Liu just ahead of him. Liu with softs for race 3. If he can get in the top 10 here, race 3 may be not the most exciting if he gets out front in it. As we've seen, that Renault has been a rocket ship so far today, and now on the medium tyres. But you see here, Albert Asante in the mix. He's in 11th place now. Another driver with softs for race 3. If he can get in the top 10, perhaps the Toyota, with its strong cornering, can be the car to beat the Renault on equal footing here. But as things stand, Albert Asante just outside of the top 10 in 11th position. Solon just ahead of him. It's going to be a absolute fight to the finish here for these drivers. Shah now, after starting on pole, down to 12th position. Kevin down to 13th. You're seeing now, especially as we get to the later stages of this race, that those that started at the front, if they're on hards, if they're on mediums, if they had success ballast on board, struggling quite a bit towards the end here. Adrian Tishy, back end of the points here, ahead of his teammate Tyler Davison, who of course was in the battle for the podium in race 1. He's down in 15th place. This one has not gone his way. Liam Jones, championship leader, down in 16th. He's got some work on his hands here. He's got soft tyres for race 3, but it's not going to be easy there all the way from that far down the field unless a miracle happens here on the run to the line. And speaking of the run to the line, we're on it now. It's Jonathan Mills who leads them towards the checkered flag. We've got a long way to go still though. Adam Richardson, we've seen the VW has incredible top speed. We could have a photo finish on our hands here. Mills blocks off the run of Richardson as they head towards the line now. We enter the tunnel. We pass the pit entry. The next thing we'll see is the finish line. Who's it gonna be? Mills or Richardson as they're side by side to the finish. It's Mills by a nose. Honda win race 2, and for the 4th time this season, Jonathan Mills wins race 2 here in Global TC. He joins the 4-time winners club this season, the 4th member to join that particular club. So here we have the official results for an incredible race 2 here. And Mills, early in the season, took the record for the biggest winning margin. He did eventually lose that, but I think this one might stick around. The closest and smallest winning margin of the season, 0.043. Incredible stuff there with Durante completing the podium ahead of Sandover and Puglia there rounding out the top 5. Liu in 9th place. He does get in the reverse grid, but so does Albert Asante. The front row for race 3, both on soft tyres. One of them very much in the title fight, the other one less so. Either way, it's going to be an exciting race 3 on our hands. Solon just missing out there in 11th, head of Shah, Kevin Davison, and then we see it's Adrian Tishy taking the final point for race number 2. Liam Jones just missing out on the points in a race 2 championship leader. That will not help his chances. Ben Driscoll, though, pointless through the first 2 races. Really not the start he would want there for his event here in Tokyo. And now it's time to look at the starting grid for race number 3 here in Tokyo. As after this one, just 6 races will remain in the championship. Lewis Francis will be at the back on soft compound tyres. Ahead of him, Jordan Fingal also on the soft compound tyres for this one. Let's see if his soft tyres work better than his teammates. Ben Driscoll, who's just ahead of him on the grid on medium tyres for this one. Liam Jones, championship leader on the softs. Needs to have a good race here to keep himself atop of the championship. Then we see Adrian Tishy on the soft compound tyres as well. Tyler Davison, he is going with the hards for this race. Kieran Kevin next up. The Toyotas all seemingly quite close to each other here. Kevin on the medium compound tyres. Vishal Shah on the mediums as well for this one. Our race 1 winner there. Just behind Daniel Solon. Solon will be on the hards as well for this race. Then it is Jonathan Mills, the winner in race 2, starting 10th here, just behind Adam Richardson there, just barely missing out on that win there in race 2. Incredible stuff, though, it has to be said. Carlo Durante just ahead of him. Then we see it's Scott Sandover in the Alfa Romeo, still looking for his first win. Matt Pulio, bottom of the championship, he'll be looking to change that if he can have a strong drive here in race 3. Andre Jamil next up in the Alfa Romeo. Ahead of him, it's another Alfa Romeo. This time it's his teammate Dylan Varstenberg there. The Dutchman looking to try and get himself back into the fight for wins and podiums here. Preston Brennan just ahead. Adam Liu will start race 3 second, but on pole position, championship contender Albert Asante looking to get himself back atop this championship and dethrone Liam Jones of the lead. The cars are ready then. And we are racing for the final time here today in Tokyo, and it's a launch from the line for Albert Asante. The four-wheel drive Toyota gets the jump you'd expect as they head towards turn 1 already. He's got a huge margin over the field already, you can see. Liu on those softs, if you can hold on to second gear off the start, you'll still have a good chance in this one. Brennan in third place here, Varstenberg behind, and a much more spread out field than we've seen for the first 2 races here today as they head in to turn 1 for the first time in race number 3. They go onto the brakes. You can see the pack making their way through there, and it is Asante leading Liu, Brennan, Varstenberg, Pulio, Sandover, Jamil, Richardson, the top 8 there, swapping positions as they go through that first corner of the lap there. Sandover they're side by side with Pulio, Richardson side by side with Jamil just behind them as well. This is going to be a dogfight to the finish now for these drivers. Under the floodlights here in Tokyo, it's going to be an exciting one, it seems, as the field make their way through the S's for the first time here today. It's Albert Asante though at the front. He holds the lead from pole position ahead of Adam Liu in the Renault. Adam Liu, can he use that top speed once more here as they come across the line to end lap 1 here, and the slipstream is going to the Renault. Can Asante fight back though? We've seen previously today the Renault is an absolute rocket ship, and he's going to show that again here as he's going to pass Asante as they go towards turn 1. But Asante, if he can stay close, he can still get him back on the brakes. We've seen the Toyota, we saw Kevin especially displaying it early on in the event. The braking performance is incredible on the Toyota, but the gap might just be a bit too big here. He brakes as late as he can. This could be his best chance to fight back, but it's Liu who just about holds the lead. He goes slightly wide of the apex, but Liu holds the lead here of race 3 ahead of Asante. Asante now with the S section to try and fight back and get back in the mix here, but Liu out front in that Renault. That's a dangerous prospect for the field to think about here. As we see side-by-side racing here, Richardson battling away just ahead of Sandover and Pulio, who are still side-by-side. We saw them side-by-side there lap 1, and still on lap 2 they're fighting out here. These 2 drivers trying to get themselves a decent few points here in this one. Sandover still, as I've said, yet to win races. I'm sorry to rub it in, but he hasn't won a race yet this season. Pulio has got a couple of wins to his name, but is bottom of the championship. So these are 2 drivers here who really have something to prove, and they're side by side, perhaps costing each other time and allowing others to break away from them. As we see, that's Liam Jones, championship leader, already up into 7th place. We've seen that Mitsubishi be so quick on race starts and lap 1s, and it looks like that could be the case here again here today. Liam Jones into 7th place. Now, we wouldn't have expected him to win a race 3 last time out, and again, he did it. Let's see, can he spring a surprise here in race 3 at Tokyo? I'm not sure if you can do it this time, but he's certainly on soft tyres. It's not impossible. As we see, that's Richardson looking to the inside of Harstenberg as they head through the penultimate corner here, and that's going to give Liam Jones the inside line on the Alfa Romeo there. The Alfa Romeo trying to carry some speed all the way around the outside. He's on the hard compound tyres, so it's going to be a tricky race 3 for him. But for now, at least, he's staying in the fight. Richardson just up the road, also on hard compound tyres, now in the sights of Liam Jones. Jones, if he can get a podium from this race, that would be huge, and that looks very possible here at the very minimum, as we have not too many, only 6 drivers are on softs for this race, and currently Jones is the 3rd highest of those drivers, so he's got a real chance at the podium here. You can see Brennan just up the road ahead of him there as we are now halfway through the race. Richardson, though, with the top speed of that VW, able to hold off the Mitsubishi behind him, as Brennan, another car with good top speed, the Mercedes, after starting at the very back of this event, he's had an incredible event, it has to be said. Masterful strategy, the car has worked wonders around this place. First win for his teammate, and the car, which at times this season has looked like one of the weakest, looking very good here today, which is nice to see, a nice change of form there for them. As you see them going through turn 1 there, that's Jones trying to take advantage of his soft compound tyres, and he's going to do just that there as he powers past with the four-wheel drive system to clear the front-wheel drive VW and up into 4th position here. Important move for him and his championship and his race and his season and everything else. This is crucial stuff for Jones. This podium position is now right in his sights there. The top two are, well, they're in a different postcode, to be honest with you. It's going to be very tough for him to win this one as he goes down the inside. They're already nearly halfway down the straight as he starts the straight. So it's going to be a tough job for Jones to try and get this win. But if you can just break away here of the group behind him and hold on to this P3, be a good race there as Jordan Fingal up into that 6th position on the soft compound tyres there. He's making some moves, yet to see Lewis Francis into the top 8. A Subaru which was very impressive just a few races ago back in Suzuka in race 3. Looking like it's not as impressive this time out there as we see Jordan Fingal fighting with Dylan Varstenberg as they head down the very, very long straight here. And you can see the Alfa Romeo looks like it's got a little bit better top speed there and going to clear Fingal, get him back into 7th position. But as they head towards turn 1 once more, Fingal with those soft compound tyres might just be able to get back in the fight here. Instead we see that's Vishai Shah back in the top 10 here. He's on the medium compound tyres, the race 1 winner trying to make a point here and show that Mercedes have got something to fight for with here as he's side by side with Scott Sandover for that 8th position. Sandover on the medium compound tyres there as he heads into turn 1. Both drivers on mediums, then it's a straight fight between these two. As Sandover goes very deep, he actually goes into the back of Fingal there. And Fingal actually helps him get ahead of his teammate. Good stuff there. Fingal up into 6th position with a bit of help from Sandover, who pushes him past Varstenberg. And that also could give a chance for Adrian Tishy to get up a position as well here. He's on the soft compound tyres as well in this one. He's trying to make some moves through the field here, as he now is on the back of Adam Richardson. Side by side with Fingal though. These two drivers both on soft compound tyres. They're really letting Liam Jones break away of them here, and by doing that, costing themselves a chance at a podium position in this one, as we see them both getting some moves done here, as we see them heading up towards the final couple of corners. It is Brennan leading this group of cars in his Mercedes. They're side by side behind him, Richardson and Tishy behind them. Jordan Fingal is right in the mix as well. And this is good battling here in this group. And I think it could well stay this way for the race, because even though a couple of them are on softs, the top speed that they're going up against here of the VW and the Mercedes is quite impressive. And unless one of these guys can clear the Mercedes of Brennan, then I think they're going to be stuck in this battle all the way to the line, perhaps like we saw in race 1, as we see Fingal looking to try and make the move here as they head down the straight once more. It is Fingal pushing hard, and actually could be free wide here as Richardson looking to get back in the fight. We said that VW got good top speed, and it's showing it again here as he's going to split between the two drivers, and he's going to make a nice little move there. Here's the VW going through that gap. Gets up past both those two drivers on soft tyres, and this is the problem they have. They just need to make the pass at the right time, and it's not seeming the right time, because every time they can pass one of these two drivers, but then the other one gets back to pass, and then they can't pull away, and it just becomes a bit of a mess. So as we see them heading towards turn 1 again now, Fingal just not quite close enough here, as Richardson's the one on the move. He gets down the inside. Fingal, as they actually run very wide, this could be the perfect opportunity for Fingal. That's what he needed, and that's what he's going to take there. He's up into 4th position, and that is how you get past cars. You don't actually have to outbrake them. You don't have to pull off anything special. Just make the corner, get to the apex, and, well, as we saw there, they may well miss it by just a little bit there. Those two focusing on each other, and crucially the very problem that Fingal had now has just become the solution to that very problem, and Tishy now with just the one car ahead of him, not on soft tyres. He gets the move done nicely, and I think those two now should check out from that battle in 4th and 5th place there. Richardson in 6th and seemingly going to be stuck there now. As you see up at the front, it is the Renault, the rocket ship Renault, as it's well, certainly seemed here today in Tokyo. We've seen this car fly some wins earlier on in the season, and, well, they won the season opener, did Adam Liu. He won again in Suzuka recently. That track very much not about top speed. This one, though, it definitely is. As he heads into the tunnel here for the final time, he's had to fight off Albert Asante, but in the end, it's looking like it's going to be a cruise to victory. Adam Liu wins for the 3rd time this season, ahead of Albert Asante, and in 3rd position, Liam Jones wasn't able to reel in those top 2 there. Looks like he's just going to hold on here to the podium. Jordan Fingal with a rally at the end, but he's not going to be able to do it. Liam Jones, championship leader, with a podium here, will maintain the championship lead with just 6 races to go. 2 weeks, 2 events remaining in the season. Wow, 6 races. It's certainly more than 6 contenders still in this one. So that's it for race number 3 here in Tokyo. Incredible stuff there. Great racing, and an Adam Liu getting the win that I think the Renault deserved just as much as he did there. The strategy, it has to be said, was perfect from Adam as well. Using the softs in that third race, he trusted the car at the pace in race 1 and 2. Incredible stuff there to beat Albert Asante and Liam Jones. Jordan Fingal and Adrian Tishy rounding out the top 5 there ahead of Adam Richardson. As we see Vishay Shah just missing out on the top 8 there in 9th position. Lewis Francis recovering up to 10th place there for him on those soft compound tyres. Better than Ben Driscoll, that it has to be said, on his soft, so not too bad there for him ahead of Varstenberg, Pulio, Solon, Kevin and Andre Jamil finishing in 15th there. There we see just outside the points, it is Jonathan Mills, the winner of race 2 in 16th, Carlo Durante in 17th, Tyler Davison in 18th, and Ben Driscoll goes pointless here in Tokyo, a championship contender, perhaps not so much anymore there. Ben Driscoll, disappointing day in Tokyo for him, but there's still 2 events to go, and as we've seen so far this season, anything can happen. That's it then for our racing here in Tokyo Expressway. I do truly hope you all enjoyed it. That was some great racing we saw here today. The top speed made a big difference, some of these cars. And wow, we saw a bit of a mixed up field at times. We saw some interesting strategies. We saw some drama. And wow, we saw some overtakes and a half there. Some of those quite memorable indeed. So I do hope you'll join us all again next time out when we go to Interlagos for the penultimate event of the season. We do have a break week next week. But then in 2 weeks' time, it will be Interlagos, and a week after that, the finale at Monza. What could possibly go wrong? I do hope you'll join us then. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.